to Murders and Minivans, where the coffee is cold, the kids are wild, and the crimes are absolutely unhinged. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tally. Let's talk murders, motherhood, and why we trust absolutely no one.
What is it this week? More people missing?
It's pretty bad.
Ugh, it always is.
Today, we're going to dive into the most puzzling and controversial death investigations of the past decade.
What?
That was a little clickbaity.
That's okay.
But it's the case of Rebecca Zahau. Also, I feel like you'll agree once you hear it.
Maybe.
I don't like when you're looking behind me, like, what do you see? What is it?
Usually I just look at your calendar and the pictures of people.
Okay, fair.
And then you have like one farther away. Like, what's going on over there?
That's
also,
just
I was
the
trying to
Google.
not sneeze.
Oh.
I was trying to focus on the oranges in your fruit bowl.
The oranges that nobody eats.
Really?
Yeah, I've packed them. They're so good. They're carrot oranges.
Yeah, like the big ones.
They're delicious. I eat them, but I can only eat so many oranges.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is a story that has everything. A historic mansion in one of California's wealthiest beach towns, a tragic accident involving a child, a death ruled as a suicide under circumstances so bizarre that even experienced investigators couldn't quite agree on what had happened,
Ooh.
and a family that refused to accept the official findings. Let's get into it.
Ooh, good one.
So first, I'll set the scene and I'll introduce you to all of the key players, because understanding who everybody is/was is very important to understanding why this became a very contentious case.
Excellent.
So Rebecca Zahau, who also went by her married name, Rebecca Nalepa? Question mark. I'm sorry
Love
for
it. Every
butchering
time
that.
it's a question mark.
Yep. Was born in Burma, which is now called Myanmar, on March 15th, 1979. A Pisces. That's
Wow.
Brian's birthday.
Ooh. Mysterious.
She grew up in a Protestant Christian family in Phalam, a town in northwestern Burma. Her family eventually immigrated, living in Nepal and Germany before Rebecca came to the U.S. about 10 years before her death. By 2011, most of Rebecca's family had settled in St. Joseph, Missouri. She had several siblings, including her older sister Mary, a younger sister named Snoem, who was living in Germany, and a teenage sister named Zena, among others.
Wow.
Great name. I love the name Zena.
Warrior princess.
Yeah, amazing.
Spot on.
People who knew Rebecca described her as happy, always smiling, and she worked as an ophthalmic technician. So somebody who assists ophthalmologists with eye exams and procedures.
I'm glad that you looked that up, because I was about to ask you what that is.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think that's what it is.
Good to know.
Yeah. Now, Rebecca's personal life had been a bit complicated. Back in 2002, she married a guy named Neil Nalepa. I know, like, oh!
Wowzers.
Neil.
Neil what? Real quick?
Who was a nursing student in Scottsdale, Arizona. But while she was still married to Neil, she began dating a man named Jonah Shacknai in 2008.
What?
She and Neil eventually divorced in February 2011, just a few months before her death. So who was Jonah Shacknai? This is where things get into a very different world. Jonah was the CEO of Medicis Pharmaceutical, and in 2010, he was the 9th highest paid CEO in Arizona, pulling in $6.4 million.
Wow, she did well.
Serious wealth.
Yeah.
He'd been married twice before. His first marriage was to a woman named Kimberly James, and that ended in a divorce after a 3-year custody battle over their 2 children. His second wife was Dina Romano, and they had a son together named Maxfield Aaron Shacknai, but everybody called him Max. Max was born in June of 2005, so by the summer of 2011, he was 6 years old. Jonah owned an absolutely stunning property in Coronado, California, which was an island community just across the bay from San Diego.
Ooh, cool.
The house was actually built for John D. Spreckels, this famous industrialist and railroad magnate. And the media kept calling it the Spreckels Mansion. And everybody who lives around that area just refers to it as that.
Cool.
So for relevance sake, it was Jonah's summer estate.
Oh, well.
This massive historic beach house on Ocean Boulevard. Just a little bit of a tangent. I saw there was a Reddit thread, and it was, what's a rich person thing that poor people or like average people will never understand?
Yeah.
And somebody said summer as a verb, not a season. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. When people are like, I summer here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have like a transatlantic accent, I feel, too, if you're rich.
Yeah.
Can't talk normal.
No, you're not like East Coast Canadian. Be like, yeah, I summer there.
Yeah.
Not good.
There's no Newfie.
No, that's summering anywhere.
Or like Albertan.
Yeah. It's a hard R.
Yeah.
Hard R. No summer anywhere.
No. Well, I mean, technically, you guys summer in Cold Lake.
Well, yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Not sadly, it's lonely time. Except for, like all the carjackings.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You'll know we made it when we start talking in a transatlantic accent.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about summering places.
Yeah. And then there's Adam Shacknai, Jonah's brother, who's going to become a very important figure in the story.
Oh, man.
So now we're at July 11th, 2011, and this is where everything starts to unravel. Rebecca's at the Coronado mansion with Max and her teenage sister Zena. At some point during the day, this timing has actually never been confirmed or like completely clear, Max fell over a second floor banister and landed face first on the floor below.
Oh, no.
The injuries were very severe. He suffered damage to his spinal cord and his facial bones, and the spinal cord injury affected his heart rate and breathing. Rebecca said that she was in the bathroom when it happened, and she found Max moments later, and then Zena called 911.
So he fell over the railing?
Yeah. When paramedics arrived, Max wasn't breathing and was unresponsive. They rushed him to Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego, where he was listed in critical condition. Now, here's something interesting that's going to come up later. A trauma doctor who examined Max at the hospital told police that he didn't believe that the injuries from the fall were consistent with the cardiac arrest and brain swelling that Max was experiencing.
Wow.
The doctor suggested that Max may have suffocated before his fall. Keep that in the back of your mind. So you've got this little boy fighting for his life in the hospital, and obviously everybody is devastated. Jonah is staying at Max's bedside along with the boy's mom, Dina Romano. When he needs to rest, he goes to nearby Ronald McDonald House instead of going back to the Coronado mansion.
Nice.
Yeah. Now we're going to move forward to July 12th, which is the day after Max's accident. Rebecca drops her sister, Zena, off at the airport for her flight back to Missouri. Then she picks up Jonah's brother, Adam, who had just flown in from Memphis, Tennessee. That evening, Rebecca, Jonah, and Adam have dinner with a friend named Howard. After dinner, Rebecca and Adam go back to the Ocean Boulevard house while Jonah goes back to the hospital with Max. According to reports, there was loud music coming from the beach house later that night. Neighbors noticed it, and we don't exactly know why or what was happening in the house that evening or who was playing the music.
Interesting. Like you're trying to cover something up.
Oh.
Ooh, allegedly.
What an interesting tidbit. At some point during the night, we don't exactly know when, Rebecca's life comes to an end. So the morning of July 13th, 2011, at roughly 6:45 in the morning, Adam Shacknai says he wakes up and finds Rebecca's body hanging from a balcony off of one of the second floor bedrooms. She's nude. Her wrists are bound behind her back. Her ankles are bound. She's hanging by a rope from the balcony railing.
Wow.
Her wrists are bound behind her back.
Yeah.
And her ankles are bound.
So she's naked. If you're going to hang yourself, you're not binding your hands and ankles, and you're not getting naked.
So put a pin in that.
I will pin it. I will pin it hard.
Adam calls 911 at 6:48 a.m. He then sends a text message to his brother Jonah to tell him what he's found, which may be a call.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I would text my sister and be like,
No.
hey, I just found so-and-so hanging here.
It's a weird move.
Naked is like, it's a very distinctive thing that's going to bother me.
Yes. And here's where things get even more complicated.
Huh.
Adam decides to cut Rebecca's body down before police arrive.
Why?
Well, when you're trained in any kind of emergency response, which like I'm not, but this seemed like common sense to me, you generally don't disturb a scene like this. But Adam later explained that he was just trying to help, trying to see if there's any way to save her, but by the time medics got there, they tried to revive Rebecca, but she was pronounced dead.
Oh, okay.
Police immediately started treating this as a suspicious death. How could you not?
Yeah. Obviously.
The circumstances were very bizarre. They initiated forensic testing, toxicology reports, and a full autopsy. And then there were the details of the scene itself. If this was a suicide, how did she manage to bind her own hands behind her back and then hang herself?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. How would your hands get tied? I could see tying your ankles, but the behind your back thing, like it would be one thing too if they were bound in front of you in case you're afraid you're going to change your mind.
It gets,
It would be behind your back.
It gets even stranger. Investigators kept coming back to. They could not find any other DNA at the scene besides Rebecca's. There was no sign of a struggle and no evidence that anybody else had been in that room. And one more thing. This is the part that I just can't find an answer for, and it drives me crazy. On the door of the room that led to the balcony where Rebecca was found, somebody had painted a message. According to Rebecca's ex-husband, Neil, it read, quote, "She saved him. Can he save her?" unquote. What does that even mean?
She must have saved the husband from some sort of problem.
So was it referring to Max's accident? Was Rebecca expressing guilt about what happened to Max? The sheriff initially wouldn't confirm what the message said, only stating that it was not a clear suicide note, but investigators took it as further evidence that it was suicide. Dumb.
No,
stupid.
I don't think it's suicide at all. It was murder.
I think I included this, but if not, then
Maybe he had a drug
mention
problem.
at the end.
And that's how she saved him. Sobriety. Or maybe she just saved him from a bad marriage.
Maybe.
It kind of sounds like they're both cheating.
So Rebecca's family wasn't buying it. Her siblings said that the handwriting didn't match Rebecca's, even though she liked to paint and had signed paintings before. Neil Nalepa also said that it didn't look like something Rebecca would have written. So now we're in the middle of the investigation and things are getting really complex. Police are trying to piece everything together, like in Rebecca's final hours. And then there are some key pieces of evidence that they're looking at. First, there was Rebecca's cell phone, which was a Samsung Focus. I don't know what that is, yeah.
I don't even remember. Nope.
Police got search warrants for Verizon and AT&T to obtain cell phone records. And here's what those records showed. From about 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. on the night of July 12th, Rebecca was talking and texting with her older sister, Mary. They were just checking in. Mary confirmed that Zena had arrived home safely after her flight. Then at 10:48 p.m., Rebecca got a text from Nina Romano. Nina was a twin sister of Jonah's ex-wife Dina, so Max's aunt. Nina wanted to stop by the house to talk about Max's accident, and Rebecca never replied to that message. Then at 12:50 a.m., so now we're into the early mornings of July 13th, Rebecca checks her voicemail and listens to a message. The billing records don't show who left the message, but police said that it was about Max's condition worsening. Rebecca's sister Mary later said that police told her that the message was from Jonah. Here's the thing though. That voicemail message was deleted, so police never heard what it actually said. And neither did Rebecca's family. We just have to take the investigator's word for it. It's weird. Now, about that cell phone. Initially, investigators didn't even try to turn it on because they were afraid of overwriting evidence in its memory. They were trying to find forensic software that could examine that particular model of phone without risking data loss. On August 15th, after failing to find the right technology, a detective finally just turned the phone on and did a manual search. The voicemail was not stored on the phone itself. And here's another part that's very frustrating. They never asked AT&T to try and retrieve that deleted message from their servers. Later in September, they announced that they would be using, quote, new technology, unquote, to copy the phone's data. And then in early October, they finished their second examination and said that they didn't find anything else useful. The detailed voicemail message is one of those details that really bothers everybody who thinks about this and who thinks that it wasn't a suicide, because what the hell's in that message?
Yeah.
Because it's like one of the last things that she listened to. The official autopsy was conducted by San Diego medical examiner Jonathan Lucas, and it revealed that Rebecca had 4 instances of head trauma, 4 separate impacts to her head. Lucas explained this by saying that because there was evidence that Rebecca went over the balcony in a non-vertical fashion, she may have struck her head on the balcony on the way down.
Ugh.
Basically, the theory was that as she dropped, she hit the balcony railing or structure multiple times.
How? How would you hit 4 times?
Yeah, and when I show you the picture, you're gonna... A forensic expert named Werner Spitz, I wrote in here for the listener, not you. You might recognize his name from the Casey Anthony trial, which we will cover because she doesn't know who Casey Anthony is. Said that it was possible. He explained that when somebody drops like that, they don't necessarily fall straight down, so she could have hit the structure that she was hanging from. But even Spitz said that he needed to see what the body looked like before the wrist bindings were removed to draw stronger conclusions. Remember, Adam had cut Rebecca down and removed some of the bindings before police arrived.
Ugh, that guy.
Yeah. But then you have Dr. Maurice Godwin, a forensic consultant who expressed serious doubt. He said that the chances of bumping into the railing, going over the balcony, and then hitting your head 4 times is very unlikely. And I agree.
Thank you. I'm no doctor, but I am on his side for this one.
Yes. So even among experts looking at the same evidence, there's disagreement. Now, Rebecca's family was not satisfied with the official autopsy, so they hired their own pathologist, Dr. Cyril Wecht, who's very well known in the true crime world.
To some.
Yeah, to some. Wecht conducted a second autopsy and then came to a different conclusion, a very different conclusion. Wecht testified that he believed that the fractures in Rebecca's throat were caused by manual strangulation, somebody's hands around her throat, not by suicidal hanging. He stated flat out that he thought that this was a homicide. An attorney for Rebecca's family also stated that there were other inaccuracies in the sheriff's department investigation, including evidence suggesting that Rebecca was sexually assaulted before her death.
Oh, okay. That was not on my radar. Wow.
So now you've got two medical examiners looking at the same body and reaching completely opposite conclusions.
Yeah, how do you fuck that up, though?
I don't know.
Interesting.
There's a lot
Sounds
of
like
questions.
a payoff to me.
It's a weird one. One of the biggest sticking points in this whole case, and the thing that made so many people immediately skeptical of the suicide ruling, was that Rebecca's hands and feet were bound.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So why would you bind your own hands and feet? It seems impossible. So Sheriff Roy Frank addressed this directly. He said, quote, "There are documentations of incidents throughout the country where people have secured their feet and hands as well to commit suicide," unquote. The theory was that people do this to prevent themselves from changing their minds at the last second to make sure that they can't save themselves.
But behind your back? Like, that is what I just said. But behind your back? Nah.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing. I try to leave my bias and my opinion to the end, but
Sometimes it's hard. It slips in, though.
I feel very heated about this case.
I agree.
But could Rebecca have actually done this? Police said yes. They actually reenacted the scenario to see if it was physically possible. They released a video demonstration where a woman wraps rope around her hand several times in front of her body, then slips one hand out of the binding, places her hands behind her back, rebinds them, and then tightens everything with the help of a string, similar to the string police found in Rebecca's hands. The demonstration showed it was technically possible, but technically possible and what actually happened are two different things.
Yeah, but reasonable doubt, I guess. Hey.
Yeah. A lot of people watched, a lot of people watched that demonstration and thought, okay, sure, with practice and under ideal circumstances, maybe somebody could. But would somebody in a mental state that is saying, I'm going to commit suicide, really go through all these very intricate steps?
Yeah, I don't know.
Rebecca's family certainly didn't think so. Her younger sister, Snowham, said emphatically, quote, "Becky did not commit suicide. My sister was murdered," unquote. People who knew Rebecca echoed this. Her former personal trainer said that she was always happy, smiling when she came in, and that he didn't see a problem or anything like that. Which, to play devil's advocate, you would never know.
Yeah, sometimes you won't. Yeah.
Family members disputed the police characterization of Rebecca as depressed. They said that she was a happy person, and they also pointed out that as a Christian, Rebecca believed that suicide was wrong. And her ex-husband Neil also said that he would not believe that she would commit suicide. It's very out of character. Again, you don't know, but I'm with them on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
But Sheriff Gore, who was leading the investigation, replied to the family's doubts by saying, quote, "We laid out the case extensively to them in Missouri to answer their questions, and it's unfortunate that Rebecca's sister can't accept the results."
Oof. Rude.
Then on September 2nd, 2011, Sheriff Bill Gore held a press conference and made the official announcement that her death was ruled a suicide. Max Shacknai ended up passing away, and his death was ruled an accident. So neither was the result of foul play, according to the Sheriff's Department.
Sad. I disagree.
Yeah, the public reaction was very intense. The case had already been drawing massive media attention, and on July 14th, 2011, the day after Rebecca's body was found, Medicis Pharmaceutical had its sharpest one-day decline in stock price since February. So that's Jonah Shacknai's company. So news of the investigation was being covered internationally: New Zealand, Finland, Spain, the UK, all over the world through July and August. When the suicide ruling came down in September, various writers and legal experts started to publicly express doubts. Forbes published pieces by true crime writer Kathy Scott and lawyer Victoria Pynchon questioning the findings.
Wow.
Yeah, Pynchon called the ruling, quote, "an embarrassing public blunder," unquote.
Yikes.
Yeah. But not everybody agreed. The Daily Beast published a column by trial lawyer Roy Black where he criticized what he called half-baked theories about Rebecca's death. His main point was, how can anybody do all of this without leaving behind a scintilla? Is that the word?
I don't know what that is talking about.
Scintilla of microscopic evidence.
Oh, Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I just wasn't sure where this was going.
That's where it's going.
I thought it was going to be like a physical thing.
Yeah.
Without leaving a scintilla. I'm like, I've never heard of this word at all.
Well, he's a lawyer.
Scintilla of evidence. Okay.
Smart. They would have to have been wearing a full rubber suit or some type of spacesuit and levitated over the scene. Okay, fucking calm down.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah.
But they could be wearing a suit.
Mm-hmm. Or they had time to clean everything up.
Yeah, obviously, because there's loud music playing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the ant.
Yeah. Black basically said, look, there's no DNA evidence of anybody else being there. There's no signs of a struggle, and the physical evidence just didn't support murder, and he called on the media and public to stop calling it a murder. And that's really the crux of this case. Because on one hand, you have bizarre circumstances that seem impossible to explain as suicide. And on the other hand, you have an apparent lack of physical evidence pointing to another person being involved. But Rebecca's family was not going to give up. On September 7th, they launched a website called justiceforrebecca.org, seeking donations to fund their own investigation. The website stated, quote, it was obvious that the sheriff's department had worked too hard to paint this picture of a suicide, and they were not about to let the Zahaus ruin it, unquote. By late September, the family was demanding the case be reopened. Here's where things get interesting from a political standpoint.
Okay, let's hear it.
On September 20th, 2011, Jonah Shacknai, Rebecca's boyfriend, wrote a letter to California Attorney General Kamala Harris.
Ooh, okay, I know who that is.
He asked for a state review of the investigation. Now, Jonah himself said that he didn't doubt the findings. He believed that the sheriff's department got it right. But he said that he hoped a state review would bring confidence, comfort, and resolution to others close to Rebecca, meaning her family and friends who couldn't accept the suicide ruling. The very next day, Chief Assistant Attorney General Dane Gillette replied the answer was no.
Ooh, rude.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess.
He stated, we must decline your invitation to review this investigation at the time. So there would be no state-level investigation. The Sheriff's Department's findings would stand. But then on September 30th, family members appeared on NBC's Today Show and called for an independent investigation by the State Attorney General's office.
Wow.
It wasn't going to happen.
No, but good for them. They keep pushing.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, her family had hired Seattle attorney Ann Bremner to represent them. Bremner was not holding back. She said, quote, this would be the first case in the history of the world that a woman killed herself like this. It's ridiculous on the face of it, unquote. Which is another point. Women don't like messes when they commit suicide. Yeah. Typically, it's done through poisoning or carbon monoxide. Like, so they don't want to leave a mess. Obviously not for all cases, but just generally.
Through a few awful ones, but in general,
Yeah.
They don't want to burden someone with their
mess, Agree. Jonah Shacknai's lawyers fired back. Dan Webb from the law firm Winston & Strawn sent Bremner a cease and desist letter warning that some of her statements constituted defamation. The letter accused Bremner of implying that Jonah had used his wealth and influence to improperly sway the investigation and called her statements, quote, highly insensitive on a human level, unquote.
But I think he did, though.
Mm-hmm. Jim Edwards, writing for BNet, pointed out that Jonah probably wouldn't actually sue Bremner because it would just bring more publicity to the case. He expected that the situation would leave the Zahau family to continue their claims unchallenged. One more detail about Jonah that raised some eyebrows is he hired the public relations firm Citric & Company to represent him the week after Rebecca's death. When people question this, a Citric employee explained that Jonah needed help handling the huge volume of incoming calls so that he could have time to grieve and make funeral arrangements. Later, executives from Citric held discussions with journalists that they believe had made errors in their reporting on the case. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I know I'm not a rich person, but why? And I've looked at a lot of murders that had rich people. That's fucking weird.
Just that they had a public relations person for the murder of their spouse?
1 week. What?
Well, I don't know. That is not the big sticking point in this story for me, I think.
No.
Like, I get all these rich people with lawyers, especially if his spouse's, now ex-spouse's, family disagrees with it and it could get messy. I kind of see... And because she died in such a fantastical way.
Maybe you're meant to be rich.
Wouldn't that be nice? I think so too. I think I am meant to be rich. Yeah. You're right.
I am too, but I'm like, my mind doesn't comprehend this kind of thing. Who cares? Figure it out. Especially if you're innocent, it'll come. I don't know.
Fucking be innocent. No.
Yeah. So I want to circle back to Max for a moment because his death is really central to understanding the theories around Rebecca's death. So Max died on July 16th, 2011, 3 days after Rebecca's death. The cause was brain damage from oxygen deprivation, resulting in his injuries from the fall. On July 26th, investigators ruled Max's death as an accident. They speculated that he somehow tripped and fell over the banister. But remember the trauma doctor who examined Max, the one who told police that he didn't think that the injuries from the fall were consistent with Max's cardiac arrest and brain swelling. That doctor suggested that Max may have suffocated before the fall, which is huge because if Max didn't accidentally fall, if something else happened, that completely changes the context of Rebecca's death 2 days later. Some people theorize that maybe somebody blamed Rebecca for Max's accident, or even suspected that she had something to do with it and then killed her in revenge. Others thought that maybe Rebecca was consumed with guilt over Max's death and that led to her suicide. But the official ruling stood. Max's death was an accident.
That's so sad.
So for years, Rebecca's family kept fighting for answers. Can you blame them?
No.
And in 2018, members of the Zahau family filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Initially, they claimed numerous defendants, including 50 generic does, like Jane Does, essentially placeholder names for people that they had suspected but had not yet identified. Eventually, they narrowed their focus to one person, Adam Shacknai.
Ooh, okay.
Adam was the one who found Rebecca's body. He was in the house that night and he cut her down before police arrived. The civil trial began in April 2018. This is important to understand. The standard of proof in a civil trial is much lower than in a criminal trial, and you don't go to jail in a civil trial.
Okay.
In a criminal trial, you need proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
In a civil trial, you need preponderance of the evidence, basically more likely than not.
Oh, okay.
After hearing the evidence, the jury found Adam Shacknai responsible for Rebecca's death, and they awarded the Zahau family a judgment totaling $5.2 million.
Oh, wow.
This was vindication for the family. A jury had heard that the evidence concluded that Rebecca didn't die by suicide, and that Adam was responsible.
What?
But wait, there's more.
Okay. What is happening here?
Within 2 weeks of the civil trial's conclusion, the San Diego County Sheriff's Office announced that they were conducting a review of the investigation.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they obviously fucked up.
They used officers who hadn't been involved in 2011, so fresh eyes, and they resubmitted everything to the County of San Diego's Medical Examiner's Department for further review. In November 2018, the chief medical examiner released their findings. After re-examining all of the evidence, they reported that the extensive investigative findings had been correctly concluded and it was still suicide.
What? Money. I think there's money involved.
Yeah.
Sounds like bribery.
The report noted something interesting. The Zahau family had refused to submit any of their supposed evidence to assist in the review. If they had evidence that proved their case, why wouldn't they share it with investigators?
Fair.
Well, the Zahau family, knowing that Adam Shacknai was appealing the civil judgment, immediately launched a public relations campaign accusing county officials of making an incorrect decision. In February of 2019, Adam's appeal went before the court. His defense argued that there had been procedural errors and juror misconduct in the original trial. Before final arguments could be presented, the Zahau family made a choice. So they entered into a settlement with Adam for $600,000, which was significantly less than $5.2 million.
Yeah, geez.
And the civil case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that it couldn't be brought again. The original judgment was vacated.
Ooh.
So what
shit.
does this mean? Did the family settle because they realized their case had problems, or were they worried about losing an appeal and getting nothing? Or was it simply a practical decision to accept a guaranteed sum rather than risk years of litigation? We don't know. But basically the case was over at this point. So where does that leave us? So the official ruling was that she died by suicide. Max's death was an accident. Everybody has stood by these conclusions through multiple reviews. But there's so many questions left unanswered. The deleted voicemail, what did it say? Who left it? Why was it deleted? The 4 instances of head trauma, could they have been caused by hitting the balcony on the way down, or do they suggest something more sinister? Bound hands and feet. In the trial, they had not experts.
What?
Yeah, and Adam Shacknai spent time on tugboat.
Oh, so he'd know lots of marine knots.
He said he knew lots of knots, but not the two that, because the knots were very intricate. So, yeah.
So why would she have the knowledge of that?
She wouldn't.
Fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Fishy. There's an unknown here.
Yes. The painted message on the door. She saved him. Can he save her? What does it mean? Did Rebecca write it or did somebody else? Another thing. There was no paint found underneath her nails or on her hands or anything.
Yeah, this is a murder.
Exactly. I thank you.
It's definitely a murder.
Now, the trauma doctor's observation about Max, if his injuries weren't consistent with just falling, what really happened to him? And perhaps most significantly, why would a woman described by everybody who knew her as happy and full of life, a woman whose Christian faith made her believe that suicide was wrong, choose to end her life in such a bizarre and complicated way at a time when the child was in her care was fighting for his life? These are questions that will probably never be answered. But for Rebecca's family, for people who follow this case, and for true crime enthusiasts who study these things, the Rebecca Zahau case remains one of the most perplexing death investigations in recent memory. Was it suicide? Was it murder? Was it something in between? I don't know.
I find it perplexing because I'm so sure of myself.
Yeah, no, it's very weird to me, and I don't want to make this episode 7 years long, but there was Jonah's kids from, like, his older kids from the first marriage.
Yeah.
They treated Rebecca really badly. They swore at her. They basically treated her as she was like a servant. And she like cleaned and cooked. She didn't really have a life outside of the house. It seemed like she was more of like a live-in nanny than a partner of Jonah.
Okay.
Everybody treated her really badly. And I do feel bad for the mom in this case, but she also really heavily attacked her.
Yikes.
I feel bad. She lost her son, and when I view it from her eyes, she lost her son, and everybody is so focused on Rebecca's death.
Yeah.
So I see where she's coming from.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't know what the motivation be. I think the boys was a murder too, or a bad accident that they tried to cover up by pushing him over. Because who climbs over a railing? And wasn't there 2 adults home with him?
So this is like a reenactment. So like he was here.
Yeah.
And then that's how he would have had to fall. So like it's
he could have been trying to slide down the railing.
yes.
Okay.
And that's the house.
Okay, so it matches it perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, so it could have been an accident.
And then
That's like my nightmare. I've talked to E at length about not doing that, but I don't think it's really come up in her head yet.
so
I wonder
like
what railing codes were, like how big, how high they were.
don't
Like it's
know.
not in the dark ages. It wasn't that long ago.
So, like, this is the awful part is, like, you can literally see the actual crime scene. I don't know how it got
I don't
on.
love that.
No, but so I won't show you those. Those were her hands.
Ugh.
That was the message.
Painter wouldn't have done that.
And that's the crime scene. So that is her body. But she
Oh
would
my
have gone
gosh.
from here.
What is that, like Google Images?
No, again, if I clicked on this, you could literally, like, look at that.
That's awful.
I know. It's fucking terrible.
Why are these on the internet?
I don't know.
Where are the internet police?
So that's the banner, and that's the, or banister, balcony, whatever, and then that's the floor here. So
Ugh.
what could she have hit her head on here?
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's weird.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I could only see, like, even then, I could only see her hitting it twice. Like top railing and then the base of it.
Yeah, it's very odd to me. But she was just like a beautiful girl, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
That's very sad.
Everything's very sad about this case. But yeah, I just
Okay, seeing that enactment, his could have been an accident.
yes,
Hers, no. I'm
yeah,
pretty sold on murder.
yeah.
I don't know how you could convince me that it's not murder.
Well, and like I don't think that Jonah made enough money. That would be like the richest man in the world. Obviously, his crime would probably be tucked under. But that's like a billionaire, $6.2 million, especially in California.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Money definitely exchanged hands here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, but I'm so curious about who lives in that house now.
I hope no one.
Yeah, I don't know. People keep these houses.
2 deaths, though. 2 deaths.
Yeah, it is very, very sad, and they try to live private lives, but like even if you search Adam Shacknai, like he looks like a creep.
Oh.
He looks like a creep weirdo.
Oh.
Don't sue me. No. Allegedly, you look like a creep weirdo.
Yeah. Some might describe him as. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why are
His
you like
glasses
that?
are not helping him either.
No, and then that's Jonah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was very pretty.
And it's a yucky case, and
It's a yucky case.
I'm so sad for their family or her family because they're trying so hard to get answers, and I can't blame them because I would have also.
Yeah, but I think they just have deeper pockets. I think it was a murder.
Yes, like I think that's what it was.
They blamed her for not watching her. It sounded like it was a little fishy at that one part. I think it was the aunt.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of think that was the voicemail too.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I think it was
like,
the aunt. I think it was planned because she was so angry and upset because her nephew died. Maybe she assumed negligence. So it was a little more premeditated, so she covered her tracks. And then if some money was exchanged...
Huh. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe you've solved it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It took someone not watching any true crime or listening to it to be like, obviously this is just the solution.
I know.
Dummies.
I don't know. It sucks. And I do feel like maybe they got threatened.
Oh, yeah.
Or something, and that's why they had to take so much less. And I mean, I don't think that money erases trauma.
No.
If you are interested or anybody else is interested, you can go on YouTube and there's like interviews with Dana, Max's mom.
Obviously, the photos are just out there for anyone to see.
Which is
I want to know.
awful.
Yeah, where is the internet police on that one?
I know.
How are those there?
I don't know. It's so awful. And I mean, like, usually if you search crime scene, the crime plus crime scene, you can see if it happened inside a house, for example. You would see like evidence markers, but you wouldn't see the fucking body.
No. Yeah.
So I don't know how those got out there. I think it's so disrespectful.
I agree.
For the love of God, who needs to see that?
Yeah, it's not for the victims and their families, that's for sure. No, they don't want that up there.
Exactly.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah, so Adam's a creep.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Someone killed her.
And yeah, I feel very sorry for the Sahau family, and I hope that they have some sort of peace, and eventually, I don't know, in my mind the truth always comes out.
When?
I don't know, always.
I agree. I'd like to think there's some sort of universal karma.
If somebody like Epstein could be caught so many years later, and like have all of these photos and everything released, I know you don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
I know he's bad in their Epstein files.
Oh my God. If I did an episode.
Was Rose like McGowan from Charmed? Wasn't she?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Everybody that is famous and rich and powerful as he was, and the amount of political connections that he had, if that all came out, this kind of stuff will come out too.
Eventually.
Yes, you will find out. That's my hope. He didn't kill himself. Anyways.
Yet. Maybe he'll have that problem, sudden death syndrome.
No, you know he's dead, right?
Who is?
Oh my God, Stephanie.
Oh, did he kill himself in jail?
Oh!
Uh-oh.
I'm telling Neil. I'm literally going to call Neil and say, do you not know, like, your wife doesn't know who, number one, who Jeff Epstein is, I don't think, and number two, that he is dead of suspicious circumstances.
Oh. No, who killed themselves in jail? Didn't someone hang themselves in jail? Celebrity
he
something?
did,
Was that
allegedly.
Him? Was that him?
I don't fucking buy it. There's no way that he killed himself. No way.
That's fair. Somebody got him. Someone had a...
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody would have had a relative that was exposed to him or something.
Yeah. Come on.
He couldn't think he got away with bad stuff.
Or somebody wants to keep it a secret, because right before... It's going to turn to an Epstein episode. Right before he allegedly killed himself, he didn't fucking kill himself. He said that he was going to basically sing like a canary.
Oh, wow.
And
he's getting exposed to many people.
Yeah. And then, boom! So...
Fishy. Did they investigate?
They said that he killed himself. Like, it was like a open and shut case.
Sounds like money again.
Smells should I
like
cover that?
Coercion.
If I start covering it, I think I'm gonna go crazy. But
maybe they'll listen to us though. Oh, maybe more listeners, but in a bad way.
Well, you know what? Let me know.
Let's find out.
Yeah. Sorry for ruining your day.
Sorry.
Bye.